All right, so today we're going to dig into a real mystery, why putting in a ton of study time doesn't always get you the grades you want. We're going to break down the secret reasons why that happens, and even better, talk about some real practical fixes you can use, like right now.
I mean, think about it. Have you ever been there? You're buried in books, highlighters are everywhere, you've put in the hours, you've done the work, and then you get your grades back, and it's just not what you expected. It is so frustrating, right? And you're definitely not alone in feeling that way.
Well, that's exactly what we're here to figure out. We're going to look at why studying hard sometimes isn't the same as studying smart. It's all about closing that gap between the effort you put in and the results you get out. Okay, so first things first. Before we can even think about fixing the problem, we've got to play detective a little bit, right? We need to pinpoint the real reasons this happens. And here we go, cause number one, something I think we all know a little too well, the distracted brain. And yeah, we're talking about the biggest distraction of them all, that phone buzzing in your pocket while you're trying to focus. You know, this quote really nails it. It says, "True understanding cannot occur under constant distraction." And that's the key, isn't it? It's not just a small inconvenience. It literally makes it impossible to really get it. Think about it. Every single notification, every buzz, it just completely shatters your concentration. So what you have is this split, right? On one side, you've got divided attention. You're trying to read, but part of your brain is always on alert, just waiting for that text or that notification. But what you need for real learning is on the other side, total undivided focus. It's a completely different mental state where your brain can actually absorb what you're throwing at it. Okay, let's move on to the second big trap, memorization without meaning. We've all done this, right? You just cram facts and definitions into your head, hoping they'll stick long enough for the test. It totally feels like studying, but is it actually working? And this is where things get interesting. The source material points out that this method is just weak. It's weak because you're just using your memory, not your brain's ability to reason. Sure, you might be able to spit back a definition, but could you explain it in your own words, or use that idea to solve a totally new problem? See, that's the real test. So here's the deal. On one hand, you have rote memorization, which is kind of like building with sand. It might hold up for a little while, but it's going to crumble fast. On the other hand, you have deep comprehension. That's like building with bricks. It creates a solid foundation of knowledge that you can actually use and add to over time. All right, and that brings us to our third big problem, passive listening. Oh man, this one is so common. It's when you're physically in the lecture hall or you've got the video playing, but your brain is checked out. You're there, but you're not there. And look, just hearing the words doesn't mean you're learning. It's kind of like the information is just washing over you without sinking in. You're not really thinking about it, you're not questioning it, you're not making it stick. And the difference here is huge. Passive listening is basically like having the news on in the background while you're cooking. You hear it, but you don't really process it. Active engagement? That's leaning forward, taking notes, asking yourself questions. It's the difference between just receiving information and actually interacting with it. So, okay, we've got these three things: being distracted by your phone, just memorizing stuff without understanding it, and passively listening. They seem kind of different, right? But what's the common thread? What do they all lead to? Well, it turns out they're all missing the exact same key ingredients for success. They all suffer from a lack of focus, no real interaction with the material, and pretty much zero critical thinking. These three things, they're basically the recipe for ineffective studying. Okay, enough of the bad news. We've diagnosed the problem, now let's talk about the cures. This is the good part, the practical stuff you can do to actually get better. And it's actually pretty straightforward. We've got 3 simple steps, and what's cool is that each one directly fixes one of the problems we just talked about. Step 1, eliminate distractions. Step 2, seek understanding. And step 3, engage actively. That's it. So let's look at that first one, deep focus. This isn't about willpower, it's about setting yourself up to win. Seriously, put your phone in a different room, close all those unrelated tabs on your computer. You're basically creating a distraction-free zone where your brain can finally breathe and get to work. Next up, meaningful learning. This is a big mental shift. Instead of just asking, "What is this fact?" you start asking, "How does this connect to something I already get?" You stop just collecting little bits of information and start weaving them together into a strong web of knowledge. And that web is way easier to remember. And finally, active engagement. This is the doing part. You can't just let the information wash over you. You have to get your hands dirty. Take notes. Ask questions in the margins. Try explaining a tough concept to an imaginary person. It's these actions that actually turn flimsy information into solid knowledge. Okay, so as we start to wrap this up, if there's only one thing you remember from all this, what should it be? I think it really all boils down to this one powerful idea. How you study is way more important than how long you study. It's not a numbers game about hours logged. It's all about the quality of your focus when you're actually doing the work. That's the whole game changer right there.
So now the ball is in your court. We've talked about the problems and we've talked about the solutions. So I'll leave you with this question. What's the first small thing you're going to change? Just one thing. Because that tiny first step, that's where everything starts to get better.